All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the first inaugural episode of the Weiss Table, which is the tentative, I guess we're going with it, but tentative name for this podcast series. And I guess today we have two guests here, guests/co-hosts. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves, starting from my right, which would be Panda.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? My name is Panda. I also go by, or my name is Long, but I also go by Panda, so either or is fine. If you see me, either or. But,
all right. Yeah. And then across from him, on the other side of the table is...
Well, you like pointed at Panda.
No, I pointed out the wrong way. Yeah, I pointed the wrong way. It's hard.
I'm Randall, aka She's a Cat. For those of you who are familiar with Tress's content, you guys are definitely already familiar with me. Nice to be here.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I think a podcast, there's been a few Weiss podcasts here and there, but it's always something that I've been interested in doing because I think the format's pretty fun. You can talk about a lot of stuff. And I think especially recently, there's been a lot of cool developments in Weiss Schwarz that it would be a shame not to really be able to talk about it. And I think with this format, I can hopefully invite more guests in the future, get like a different range of Weiss community members to talk about specific topics. So this is going to be a series, but I don't want to tie myself down to a schedule. I don't think anybody here is available on like any sort of like regular schedule. So I think it would be best just to do these episodically when things come up. And then hopefully I can rope some of y'all in back to help me run more episodes. But today on the topic, I think is something that's pretty recent development in kind of the Weiss community, which was a article by a blogger named Shoyu, and he wrote a pretty I don't know what's the right word. I mean, it's pretty intentionally like kind of baiting, like a little bit intentionally rage baiting article called "The Weiss Schwarz Content Drought." And this sparked a lot of discussion in communities and in like Discord groups. Hey guys, Editor Simu here. So basically what happened was we recorded this podcast a week ago, and it took me a week to edit it, which is a little longer than I wanted to. And since then, Shoyu has released a follow-up article called Response to Weiss Schwarz Content Drought. And when I saw that during editing, I was like, oh no, do we have to like change anything? But I read the article, and it doesn't seem like there's anything that we talked about in this podcast that would have directly been answered in that article. The article is still great. I'll link it in the description, and you should check that article out because I do think it clarifies a lot of his points a bit more. But I do think that this podcast is still a pretty worthwhile discussion to listen to. And yeah, I just wanted to edit a short blurb here just to reference that I have seen the article, and we did not or could not have taken the article into account at the time of the recording of this podcast. But yeah, hope you enjoy the rest of the podcast. And I thought this would be a really interesting thing to talk about since, obviously I am a content creator for Weiss Schwarz. I'm part of Tressa's. We make content there, and then I also do content on my own. And I felt like the best two people to bring on were you two, because Randall obviously makes a lot of content, has like a very deep history of making content. You basically started making content for Weiss way before I did. And then on the other side, we have Panda, who appears in a lot of content and consumes a lot of content, always constantly telling me to watch stuff, but doesn't really make anything too much by yourself. Not yet. Any plans? Any plans to?
No, I actually don't know. I just plan on featuring stuff, but yeah, I watch a lot of content, like a lot of JP, a lot of EN, but I think it's just good stuff to learn in general. Like especially like in the English landscape where a lot of like the content seems to be like meta relevant stuff. It's like very competitive driven. So it's like, and as a competitive player, I feel like I'm like really drawn to those kind of content. So yeah, I watch a lot of those content.
Yeah, and it's cool that you watch JP content too, because I feel like that's something that I don't even think I watch that much in terms of like JP Weiss content. But so we have like a viewer and a fellow content creator, and so hopefully we can get kind of like the two perspectives on this idea of like Weiss Schwarz content, and do we have a problem with Weiss Schwarz content, and or like what's what do we think about the current state of Weiss Schwarz content, basically? But yeah, so as an icebreaker question, what is your favorite Weiss Schwarz video of all time that you've watched? It doesn't have to be on YouTube. It could be like, on Facebook or someplace else. I guess Randall, do you have one?
Okay, so like the thing about like between me and Panda is that like Panda consumes like a lot more content than me, and so I didn't actually like really ever come to a conclusion of like what my favorite Weiss Schwarz video of all time is. Like the thing about me is that when it comes to content for Weiss Schwarz, like I more or less just like use content as like a building block on which I like form my own assumptions, if that makes sense. So like I don't really use content as like what is a good way to put this? I more or less just use it as like a stepping stone, and I only ever actively like look for content in the Weiss space when I want to get like a starting foundation on like a knowledge base. So I don't really like look for that much content, and so I couldn't really think about what my favorite piece of Weiss content was, if that makes sense.
I see. I mean, you could even say something that you've worked on yourself, right? Like, is there something that you made that you're like particularly proud of, or like something like that you've seen that particularly like sticks with you? I guess it doesn't even have to be particularly deep. It could just be like off the dome. But I guess if you don't have one off the top of your head, we can move to Panda. Do you have one in mind? Just like,
Yeah.
just get to know your tastes, you know?
Yeah, I do. I love watching like tips and tricks videos. But like I think one of the videos that like I really like a lot is it's from a guy called wstcg. I think he's like a French YouTuber that cover Weiss stuff. He's like a world player. I respect him a lot. And he made like this really cool video about like why it's so hard to get like good at Weiss Schwarz and like how people stagnate and stuff like that. And like I remembered when I watched it, I was really inspired by it. So like every time I see a friend who's like also struggling in like trying to get better at Weiss, I would direct them to that video specifically, so they can like get like a better understanding of stuff like that. But yeah, I watch a lot of like deck breakdown. I watch a lot of like PGH deck tech. I watch a lot of like Strictly Broken. When every time they do like a set review, I would watch it. I watch a lot of Tressa. I watch every one of them. I think you guys do a great job at doing content.
Die-hard fan right here. What the?
he's the big consumer.
Yeah.
Actually. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The Hishi video, I haven't seen it, so I'll definitely go check it out after this. So my favorite Weiss Schwarz video of all time, and I still come back to this video ever so often, is a video on Randall's channel, and it's called Professional Weiss Schwarz Gameplay.
Oh my god.
It is the funniest Weiss Schwarz video on YouTube for like, how many years ago was this video? It was like 5-6 years ago. I don't think I've seen a funnier Weiss Schwarz video than this video. It is so funny to me, and it was during the time when I started getting really into Weiss Schwarz and like in terms of playing. I still remember, I feel like this was in 2018 or 2019 when that video was made, because I still remember that's when like I was playing.
It's like 2018. This was 7 years ago. Oh no, it's start of 2019.
Start of 2019. Yeah, in 2019, that was like the year I played probably the most Weiss in my entire life. It was with you, Randall, and June. I basically hung out like every other weekend, or even every weekend, like playing Weiss on Saturday, Weiss on Sunday, and we're just like hanging out, like getting dinner afterwards. Yeah, so during that time, like some of the funniest moments were captured in this video, and it's not even like how do I say it? It's not even like a wide variety of like people. It's mostly like Mike and June and Randall in the video, and it's like their decks. So it's not even like, we're not like seeing like a widespread of like variety, but it is just like some of the funniest moments and like Mike coughing off, which is always funny. And like, I feel like sometimes we capture a little bit of that magic in the Tressa gameplay videos. We'll have like those moments where, like where something really silly happens and we're all just laughing.
Like
but that video is just like
the recent like Arcane.
Oh yeah, like the final turn. Yeah, that was like an example of a moment that would have made it into that video. And that video is just like that. All of those moments just condensed from that like very brief window of time. And to me, it's like nostalgia factor because I'm like looking back, remembering that time fondly. But it's also just like all the funny moments where like all the reasons why like I enjoyed the game, just kind of like yeah. So honestly, I watch that video every once in a few months when I'm getting tired of the game, just to remind me of how fun this game is. So that's my favorite one.
We gotta like come back to that video like every like year and a half or so because there will be some like new players in our play group that have just like never seen the video, and we're just like, yo, you gotta see this video.
Yeah.
So you gotta see these super meme moments.
Yeah, or we just make new ones. Honestly, like there's a lot of content out there that we could probably just like record, or like just edit down a new version, updated version of this. All right. Well, back to Randall. Do you have an idea, or do you just want to pass for the question?
Hey, honestly, I think probably after thinking about it a bit more and kind of like browsing my headspace, I think probably my favorite Weiss video that I think it's actually just like one that we made, just because I think it really well represents how to make Weiss Schwarz appealing to people that might not necessarily be into Weiss Schwarz already but are into like a source material, is what we did with the Guilty Gear reveal video. You know,
yeah,
we did with Kai and Leo, where like we did like the whole like intro with like the going into the fight with the actual Guilty Gear gameplay, and I thought that that kind of like appeal to people that aren't even in the Weiss Schwarz space yet, I think is kind of going to be one of the things that we end up talking about later on in this podcast. Just as like kind of one of the things that was brought up in the article that we're going to be taking a look at today.
Yeah. Okay. Now that you mentioned that reveal, like, so Busho has given us 3 opportunities to do sneak reveals for cards. So it was Avatar, Guilty Gear, Avatar, and then Ruby Premium. Yeah. And so it was like so Guilty Gear was the second one, and I remember I was like really hyped for that one. And for the thumbnail, because I make all the thumbnails, for the thumbnails on that one, I cooked so hard because so during that time, Guilty Gear was doing like their DLC passes where they would reveal new characters on their DLC. So I basically took their DLC reveal image and I like put the Weiss cards in the place of where like the characters would be, and like everything else is basically just like paying homage to like the way Guilty Gear like does their DLC character reveals. And so like I don't know, but like I was so proud of that thumbnail afterwards. I was just like, dude, this thing looks amazing. Yeah, so I think like for that one, we definitely tried really hard to like make it about the fighting game, and like what Randall said, is like appealing to people who already like Guilty Gear or are interested in Guilty Gear, and then showing how like Weiss can be kind of like an avenue for them to like enjoy the game more, right? So yeah, 100% agree. That's a great video, honestly.
As a viewer though, when I first watched it, I thought it was like one of the coolest things for like Weiss Schwarz wise. I was like, dude, the amount of like effort you guys put into like reviewing these cards, I was like engaged the entire time I was watching it.
We went in so hard. We picked up Guilty Gear Strive and then recorded and then refunded it with
it was a business expense that didn't need to be expensed. So OP.
Yeah,
because we recorded all the footage, like the fighting footage. Like I think Mike just recorded it all. Yeah.
No, it was me and you. We just like popped in and mashed buttons for like.
Oh, was it us? Remember? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you're right. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, so moving into the main topic today on the table, which is the Show You article. So yeah, I want your guys' opinions on the article, kind of like at a top level. Like, what do you think about the article? What's like your main takeaway? And then like maybe like the main thing you agree with and the main thing you disagree with. So like, what do you think about the article? Agree, disagree? Let's start with panel this time. What do you think?
I honestly thought it was like Um, I thought it was like fair in a way where he was like he just wanted, in my point of view, right? I think he just wanted to have like some more like funny content, some more like table 500 stuff. It's like he wants to have like some off meta stuff, and I like I feel as like I said earlier, like Weiss Schwarz, like how content creators are like doing their videos is a lot more like um it caters to people who wants to like top and get better, not really towards like the player base who want to like have like old format or like trying to have fun and stuff like that, which is like fair, but like I don't know. It's just I I feel like he wants stuff like in like the Yu-Gi-Oh sphere where they have like the wonky quartet and they just trying to do like some cool sit down play some really off meta stuff while trying to go in on flavor instead of like what's good, what's like meta viable. And I feel like I kind of agree a little bit on like the I want to see more funny stuff. I think Tressa does like a really great thing with that, like where you guys show like the off meta stuff in your content block, and I would like to see like more channel like that, more Weiss Schwarz channel that does the same thing essentially. But yeah, I think that's. I don't agree with him, however, on like the thumbnail part, where he's like the thumbnail needs to like have the lore and stuff like that. And I'm like, as like a person who consumes a lot of content, I feel like the thumbnail doesn't really matter. What really matter is like the stuff in the video essentially. But yeah, that's just my thought.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I feel like that makes a lot of sense to me. I think thumbnails are always just hit or miss with people. Like, everybody has like their own aesthetic, and also like some thumbnails will attract people and push other people away, and vice versa. So you can never satisfy everybody. I think thumbnails you just have to stick with like what you want. You can't really like cater to specific people. It's just a losing game if you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Randall? Any like takeaways, likes, dislikes from the content from the article?
So going back to the like for fun aspect, I guess. So one point that was made in the article is I mean, like, I guess I can just like read a little bit from it, but like this is Shoyu's take with regards to like deck profiles. And so they say, make me laugh, make me cringe, I don't care, give me something that entertains me and is a hint of what is to come within the deck profile itself. I don't want a reading of the effects that cards have. I want to know the synergies among pieces of the deck. I want to know lore. I want to know how cards are connected and interact with each other. And then it skips ahead in the paragraph and it says, I'll scream it out loud, make me watch Licorice Recoil after reading/viewing your deck profile. And this, in particular, was the statement that I had the biggest issue with. And I posted like a whole like paragraph of like what my thoughts were on the article, but this was definitely one of the biggest points that I had the most opposition with. So my opinion on this is pretty much like I think that the angle is completely wrong from at least what my approach is when it comes to Weiss content. So Shoyu is saying that they want Weiss Schwarz to be an avenue into new IPs that they could potentially get into. Like they're saying, make me watch Lico Rico after reading or viewing your deck profile. Whereas for me, I see Weiss as like the complete opposite. I feel like, as we were saying earlier with things like Guilty Gear, we made the Guilty Gear reveal video in such a way that it is very appealing to people that are already in Guilty Gear as a fighting game. Like they could go into our reveal video and they could be like, wow, they're using like actual footage from the game and they're like segueing it into the cards and they're using terminology that like I'm familiar with to like relate things, like we were talking about like fundamentals of like fighting games and things like that. And like how it can kind of relate to like Weiss Schwarz in that sense. And I feel like Weiss Schwarz should be, as you said earlier, kind of like another way that you can express your love for a series that you are already into. And then one specific thing that I said in my like reply post is that I think that if you're looking for reasons to jump into a series, or if you're like looking for lore, I don't think that a Weiss deck profile is the correct place to be doing that, and that you could just like watch like an actual like anime review or something like that, right? And that ultimately the direction of content, especially in the English Weiss Schwarz content space, much more so than the JP space, is to be more about trying to bring people into Weiss because of how Weiss is so niche. So we should be appealing to people that aren't in the Weiss space by showing stuff that they are familiar to, rather than trying to take Weiss players and then just like try to show them like IPs that they may or may not be interested in from an IP perspective. And if they aren't interested in it from an IP perspective, then we should focus on like the card game aspect, which I think is like what pretty much we do for the most part.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that point specifically, I'm just gonna say, it's just like probably straight up wrong, and it's probably out of like he's probably like tunneling into because I feel like the whole article has a flow. Like he has like an idea, and he gets like more and more passionate about it, and then he says something kind of at the climax of it that is just a little bit off, right? Because like fundamentally speaking, anime is so much bigger than Weiss, so it's like the funnel will always go from anime to Weiss. It would never go from Weiss to anime, right? It's like if you're trying to get Weiss players to watch other anime, you're catering to a niche, like small community to get them to do something in a larger community. Like there's so much more anime related content than Weiss related content, right? So I feel like the direction always should come from like the larger community to the smaller community. So I do think like that section is a little bit like he probably was just like cooking too much with like wanting like more expression of like identity. Because like the start of the paragraph, he says, it just feels like every deck profile online is just a repetitive pattern of the same thing over and over again. The creators keep telling me what's good but fail to explain why. I feel like that is more of his like his point, is that he wants variety, he wants like uniqueness and identity. And then like the final part is just him just kind of like cooking off of that train of thought, right?
Yeah,
but yeah.
Speaking about that, I honestly don't understand, because in the article he says he doesn't want you to tell him that the deck is good. Like he wants you to like make content that like that forces him to like buy the deck itself based on the experience. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, is it usually like a deck profile is like people want to click on it, see if it's good or not, and then they buy it themselves?
I think what he's trying to say is he wants the content creators to sell them the deck rather than just like tell them about the deck, right? Because so like, you know how some people they like try to sell like a deck's like the the word just escaped me, but like there is the
he basically wants a Chris Liang sales pitch, but instead of a sales post, it's a deck profile.
Yeah. Sure. He wants people to sell. He wants content creators to sell people on the fantasy of a deck, right? Because like what a deck makes you feel, what like a deck like what about the deck is exciting. He's trying to connect with people's passion in like a very passion on passion way, but it just doesn't like that. That's like what do you call it? That's a very subjective thing, I think. Like not everybody wants their deck profiles to be like vibes based, right? Like some people want their deck profiles to just give them the information. Like reading the card effects, that's a big one, because community people will be split. Sometimes you read all the effects and you get comments saying like, why are you spending so much time reading the effects? Like I can read the card myself. And then you don't read the effects, and then you get comments like, why aren't you reading the card effects? How am I supposed to know what the card does? I don't want to go read the card myself. I want you to read it for me, right? So like again, you can never satisfy everybody. Somebody is going to have an opinion that is exactly counter to another audience member, right? It's just like there's no winning. So,
yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of agree with Randall. It's like, since this game is so niche, like we kind of it's hard for people to like go from that big hobby into us. I just feel like we just rather just try to attach people into our thing instead of like trying to make other people detach from us to go watch anime. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like, but what do you guys think about his point on that there's too many deck profiles and not enough like other content? Because I feel like that's what he starts off with talking about, and like, maybe that is that. Do you think that's valid? Like at the very start, he says like the most common thing are tutorials and like deck profiles and
Not in particular. I feel like
yeah.
a majority of like Weiss content is people covering like regionals, and then they covered like whatever the new flavor of the week is for like the new upcoming set. It's like I feel like that's like what's the majority of like Weiss content creator and what they do. It's either that or like deck breakdown stuff and like gameplay videos. But I feel like yeah, I just feel like I'd rather see a deck profile and like gameplay than see like someone do a review of like this regionals and go over, yo, Nikkei is coming out, Nikkei 2 is coming out soon, and I click on another channel, oh, Nikkei 2 is coming out soon. Yeah, honestly, I'd rather just watch a deck breakdown instead. But yeah.
Oh, so you
the
think you feel like
biggest
the news? Sorry, if you feel like news related stuff is just like the worst, then like it's just like not
yeah, I
useful.
just feel like those are the worst because everyone does it. It's like the easiest
no, you know
way.
that's true.
Yeah, it's like the easiest way to get click. It's like I feel like almost all Weiss podcasts or like almost all like Weiss channel do the same thing where they're just like, yo, we're gonna go over the top 8 decks for X event, and then the second segment is, in 2 weeks this set is coming out. It's cool. I have some experience playing it in JP side, and then that's it. I'm like, what am I getting out of that content? You know?
Yeah, but I feel like that's the problem if you have something scheduled, because like you need to churn something out if you do something on like a regular basis. So like what else are you gonna do, right? That's just it's just unfortunate.
But
yeah,
I actually when it comes to like making content, I do agree with him in a sense where like I would love to see more like discussion videos or like more fun content like the one you guys do on Tressa where you guys like have like you sit down and then you guys do trivia stuff. I think that would be really cool if more channel does stuff like that. I'm also a very big fan of like vlog as well. Like I'd rather watch someone like take their camera, go to regionals and vlog their experience than like having someone sit there and then talk about like a regionals that they didn't go to. No. Yeah.
What do you think, Randall? Do you agree with that? Would you like to see more vlogs? I don't know. Vlogs are hard, man.
Yeah.
I'm like kind of indifferent on vlogs. I think that in terms of like vlogs in the Weiss Schwarz space is just like more about the overall experience. It's basically like a completely different thing. Going back to the topic you brought up about like how it's like a lot of tutorials and like deck profiles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this just kind of comes back to the audience and like who you're trying to target, because like as you said, the amount of people in like the anime and like gaming space is like so much larger than the Weiss Schwarz space. Like we are constantly, even now in the year 2026, and like probably like now more recently more than ever, we're like getting more people from outside the Weiss Schwarz space into Weiss Schwarz. And so if that's the case, and the kind of content that we are creating now is what is getting these people to come from outside Weiss Schwarz and come into the card game, then we should basically just like keep doing what we're doing, right? Like that makes sense, right?
Yeah, for sure. I forgot who I said this to, but basically like the thing that Weiss has that's very different from a lot of other card games is that other card games will build like a continuity throughout the course of like a few years or like a few releases. It like continually builds upon each other, right? So for example, like Pokemon, like right now, we are like at the end of Scarlet Violet, but basically starting from the beginning of Scarlet Violet to now, like every set has kind of like added to that pool. It's like shaped like it's like a story, a design, like the characters in the region. But for Weiss, because every set is a new anime IP for the most part, unless it's like a sequel set, like that's just bringing it's catering to an entirely different audience, and it's a bunch of new people coming in for that set, right? So instead of being able to be like, okay, well this is like the whatever set of Scarlet Violet, you guys should be familiar with like Scarlet Violet cards now. It's like oh, hey, are you a new player who got interested because of Makain? Well, here's a tutorial video because you don't know anything else about this game, right?
Like,
so we basically have to constantly onboard new players, right? It's like you never stop.
Yeah, like it's like there's never a point in Weiss Schwarz because it's just new IPs constantly. There's never a point where you can assume that the people that are watching your video are already familiar with Weiss Schwarz. You can never do that, basically.
Unless it's like basically only if it's like a sequel set.
Sure, if it's like a sequel set, then like
set, yeah.
And it would have to be like a sequel set for something where like the previous set was released like relatively recently, right? Like,
or it's like specifically it would be a sequel set where like the identity of the set is entirely like not standalone. So I would argue that like a season 2 of an anime is not really a sequel set because like maybe some people got in because of like that anime, right? But like something like Countdown Collection would be like anybody buying Bang Dream Countdown Collection is almost certainly familiar with Bang Dream and like the Bang Dream set, right? You can't really just buy like a premium collection like standalone. That just kind of doesn't work, right?
So like here is like an example that I think would be pretty valid. Would be Persona, because the last sets that were released for Persona before P3 Reload were like P4 and P5, which by this point are like ancient.
Right.
And P3, like you're definitely going to get people like within that time frame that have gotten into the Persona franchise that have never seen Weiss Schwarz. They don't know about P4 and P5 and Weiss Schwarz, and they're going to want to jump in now that they see this like P3 Reload set.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I wouldn't consider P3 Reload a sequel set in terms of like there's going to be a bunch of new players. I think the same thing is going to be true for Fairy Tail, which is the upcoming English set. Like the last Fairy Tail set was like not in this decade, so like it's going to be a bunch of new players like Fairy Tail fans, and they're not going to know anything about the old cards or Weiss Schwarz, right? We basically have to treat them as brand new players as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do feel like that gets a little tiring because like it would be nice to at some point be like, hey, y'all know like about this game, like we can talk about something deeper or whatever. But I feel like as long as you're doing set based content, which is what we do at Tressa's, you basically are stuck in tutorial land forever.
Yeah. I don't think that it's like wrong to have higher level content, but I feel like at the point where we're currently at, I feel like being higher level content, I think, is honestly more catered to blogs. And here's the reason for that. So like if you're a new person coming into the game, like the first thing you're gonna do is go on YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's actually just like the first thing that you're gonna do. If you want to try to find out about like a set or like how it works, you're either going to like just ask in a forum, like maybe like on the Weiss Discord or on the Weiss Reddit or something, or you're just gonna go straight to YouTube, you're gonna type in the name of the set that you want to find out about, and you're just gonna click the first thing that comes up, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that blogs, because they're like a lot less, not, I don't want to say accessible, but like they're not your first instinct in terms of looking for content, right?
Right.
Like I think a new player doesn't instinctively look for a blog to try to find out about the new Weiss set they want to get into. But the thing is that once you're integrated into the community a bit more and you kind of know the places to look, blogs become a little bit more accessible as you are like maybe like in chat you talk to the person that wrote the blog and like got some advice from them, and they're like, yeah, here's my blog, you can check this out if you want more info. And then I feel like that ends up being the like gateway into like more complex content. And like that I guess like that would kind of be like my take on just how Weiss content space is like you have the entry level stuff on YouTube, and like obviously that doesn't mean that you can't have more complex stuff on YouTube. I think it's just probably that the people that are doing the more like higher level blog based content, which in my opinion, like I don't read a whole lot of blogs, but like the first two that come to mind for me would be Carmen, aka Beanwolf, and then Ken, aka Zabuton. I never remember the numbers, but yeah. So
he has numbers.
I think he has like numbers after the Zabuton.
Oh really? I never knew that.
If I just look on Zabuton 7-8.
Okay.
On his
Good thing those numbers aren't
anyways, so
one
yeah.
lower. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. But yeah. Anyways, so like those are the two biggest ones that come to mind for me is Carmen and Ken. I just think probably okay. Obviously, like Carmen does like PGH content, right?
Yeah, he's part of that.
Carmen's on PGH.
Yeah. He's in PG.
But at least to my knowledge, Ken doesn't really do video-based content, which is like a personal preference thing, right?
I think he's appeared on WCC a few times because he's in that area.
Oh yeah, double CC.
Yeah, but I don't think anything recent though. It's been a while. I don't think WCC has done anything Weiss for like years. It's like mostly Vanguard.
They're like mainly
All
in like
Vanguard.
Vanguard,
yeah,
right?
It's all Vanguard,
Almost
yeah.
all Vanguard right now. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I don't think it's I definitely don't think it's wrong that like those people are doing like higher level content in like a blog form. Like they could very well be doing it on YouTube. It's just like a personal preference on their part. I think that they just like prefer to post it in blogs rather than on video.
Right.
But I guess like that is how I see the current like landscape. And as far as like Shoyu's blog, because Shoyu, I did like do like a little bit of poking around in just to like see what like Shoyu's kind of like blog deck profile sort of stuff is. And I guess to bring back to the like paragraphs that I typed out with regards to, oh my god, I can't find it anymore. Hold up. Where'd it go? It's in here somewhere. What happened? Okay, I'll just try to remember. But like, I did some poking around on Shoyu's blog, and I clicked on the first deck profile-ish content that showed up, which was a Cinderella Girls blue profile, which like I would say I've done like a decent amount of research on independently, but I feel like that deck profile was definitely not what I would consider like high level content. And it actually kind of just like it's like almost hypocritical because the article is like just doing exactly what Shoyu was like kind of complaining about in their like Weiss content drought blog, where they're just kind of like reading off effects and talking about extremely minor synergies, like synergies that like you can literally intuit like 5 seconds after reading the cards. And it was not something that I was particularly a fan of. Obviously, like this is like I only read the one article, so like if other articles that Shoyu has read are not like this, then like sure. But this one specifically, I was not particularly impressed by. And I feel like, where am I trying to go with this? Honestly, I like what I think it comes down to is I think content creators should make what they want to see, if that makes sense. Like if my goal is to create content that can cater to non-Weiss Schwarz players within a certain anime or gaming space and get them into Weiss Schwarz, then I'm going to create content that is catered to that purpose.
Right.
And if it does its job, then it does its job, and I'm going to keep doing that, right? But if you want to see higher level content, then you should make higher level content. Or if you want to make content that is more centric around lore, then you should really like hammer into that. And so one of the big examples I gave for that is Simu did the flavor in Licorico video. And I thought that video was really good. It was definitely like very high effort. Like Simu literally basically rewatched the anime looking for screen caps to like, oh, that's a Weiss card. Literally like watching the entirety of Licorico be just playing, oh, take a drink every time you see a Weiss card. And another one was Ryan Law. Ryan Law's not going to see this video, but but like years ago, Ryan Law made this like insane video about the flavor of King of Fighters, and I know nothing about King of Fighters, but I watched that video and I was very intrigued by it, and I was like watching the whole thing. I was learning little bits of lore, but the thing is, it had like basically nothing to do with like Weiss Schwarz gameplay. And so I think there really needs to be like that very clear separation between content that is intended for anime watchers and game players to get into Weiss Schwarz, and content that is for Weiss Schwarz players as like fan service. Like, because that's basically what it was, right?
Yeah.
It's fan service. It's like you're basically just being like, wow, this is so cool, just being able to like relate the things. But like the thing is, you have to really make the distinction about which direction you're trying to go in.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Like, I didn't make that Licorice Recall video in hopes that like new Licorice players or like, new Licorice fans would get into Weiss. I just wanted to just like,
it's just like a passion project.
Yeah, I just wanted to gush about how I thought Busho did a flavor mechanic so right for like the first time in like a long time. So yeah, but no, I mean I 100% agree. Like, it's you gotta just do the thing that you want to see, right? And like it always comes back to me when like Mike first started Trust Us. He was like really adamant about doing like the top down camera view so that like both hands could be displayed. And like one of the things that he kept saying was just like, he's like, I keep seeing gameplay videos with no hands, and it's just like so annoying. And he's like, I just want to make gameplay videos with hands. And like to this day, I feel like that's like the biggest compliment we get for the channel. It's just like, dude, I love your gameplay videos. I love how we can see the hands. And I'm just like, yeah, it's like what Mike wanted from the get-go. And he like sat down and like got it to, he got it to happen. And I feel like, yeah, you have to just do it, right? You can't just sit around saying like you'd like something to happen. If you don't do it yourself, you're like, nobody's gonna do it for you. So
yeah, and like it doesn't really like. Panda's can I talk? I'll make it short. I'll make it
okay.
quick. Like basically, I feel like Shoyu's article, like, to me, it just seems like kind of like almost like a vent, right? Like,
oh,
kind of like
absolutely
venting.
Is, right? It is venting.
Yeah, like it's like basically just like a vent. But like the thing is that like I don't know how seriously the vent is meant to be. Like, as you said, like it might come off as like a bit rage baity, but ultimately, like, I don't want to say complaining. Complaining is not really like the right word, but like, like this venting is not helping the community as much as just like going out there and doing it yourself and putting in a lot of effort to make the content you want to see. That could be like a lot more impactful.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Go ahead, Panda.
Honestly, I feel like so called out because I feel like I can relate with this show guy in a way where like I just want to watch people do cool stuff, and I'm like I talk to Simu all the time. I talk to Randall. It's like, yo, you guys should do this, and this, and I just feel like, and then Simu tells me all the time, if you feel like you want to watch it, you should just make it, and I'm like, dude, I don't know how to do it, so I want to see like a professional do it, but like. Because even though like I myself feel like I'm too shy to do something, I if I want to watch something, I'll like go out of my way to like look for it. Like if I want to like to see like a really cool deck profile that has like a bunch of edit, I recently found like this channel called 1K1 428. Like they do like a lot of like cool edit in the background while explaining like their deck and then the card effect, and I thought that was really cool, right? And that's one example. And then if I want to like look for some like cool lore video, I just search up something, and then I found Simu's video on his channel, the chairman's channel, and I was like, dude, this Licorice video, peak, actually so good, right? So it's like if I want to like if I want to see something, I'll just go out of my way to look for it. I feel like blasting content creator for like not making cool content is like, or content that you want to see is a little bit like out of pocket. I feel it's a little bit ridiculous. It's like Simu said, if you want to see something, you do it yourself, or you go out of your way, like do a little bit more research and find videos that like you think are cool. So that's just my take.
All right, Panda, you're gonna have to give me a link to every single channel you mentioned on this stream so I can link them in the description.
Sure.
You're just like spouting these channels I've never heard of in my life before.
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you, I watch a lot of stuff. So
what
like,
did you say the numbers were after 1K1?
It's 1K1. Give me a second. It's 428.
Oh, 428.
428. Oh, that's
Yeah.
Trey. That I
Yeah.
immediately.
Well,
know
that's Trey.
No, because 428 is Yotsuba.
Oh really?
Oh yeah,
Oh, I did not
it
know
is
that.
Yotsuba.
Yeah,
Dude,
because
I honestly I was just looking at like deck profile, right? And then I went on YouTube, go like most recently upload, and I saw this video. I was like, oh, I clicked on it. I was like, it wasn't even Trey. It was just like some Ruby deck profile, and I was like, dude, these guys put a lot of effort in like recording this video, and I was like, dude, that's actually not bad. So I gave.
I think
like-
it's Trey. Oh, it's Trey and his circle. So like if you click the most recent video, it's a fairy tale 100-year quest, and it's Trey.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I guess true.
Well, that's pretty
yeah,
sick.
but they do
Okay.
a lot of videos like, or not a lot. They have 3 on their channel right now, but they have like a lot of like cool background stuff, right?
Mhm.
It's like kind of giving lore as well as like explaining the video. So I thought it was really cool, right? So just a little bit Google search, YouTube, you can like find channels like this, smaller channels that like do exactly what whatever the show you guys asking for, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
And again, we'll link everything we talk about here so that if you want, you can check those channels out. One last thing on the Show You article, because I feel like we kind of talked about most of it, and kind of addressed some of his points. It's actually not that long of an article, so it's not too bad. But the last thing I want to talk about is So on one hand, I think the part that I relate to the most with this Show You guy is that to me, he feels a little bit like a kindred spirit creator where he wants to just make like something that's cool. He wants to make something that's unique, fun, exciting, artistic. He's got a bit of that like artist soul in him. And actually, like earlier in February, he actually wrote another article called "The Death of Creativity," and I feel like that just really shows kind of like his personality and like the kind of his values, right? He's valuing creativity, like artisticness, right? Which is obviously a very subjective thing. Not everybody's going to agree on what is creative, what is artistic. But it is something that you can't be artistic or creative without kind of stepping out and trying to do something like out there, right? Trying to be different. So I guess like, what are your guys' thoughts on content creators and like how much do you feel like they should engage with creativity as like a thing, right? So I guess from my perspective, like I also, I feel like I'm a kind of like a designer artist. I mean, I went to school for design, so I definitely have that kind of leaning. And on my channel, I just try a bunch of random stuff, and I kind of have fun, especially with like the thumbnails. So it's definitely one of those things where like, I've talked to Mike about like, can I go crazy with thumbnails? And Mike is like, no, keep it professional. So I was just like, all right, well, I definitely need my own channel to like vent out my creative, energies, right? And the thing with like the thumbnails on my channel is that like they're not all good. I feel like most of them are very bad, and like it is just me just trying stuff and just trying to be creative. But there are a few thumbnails that I've made that I am like so proud of to this day, and like
I think my favorite one that you've done is the Go Chiusa one where she's like dead on the ground and she's just like covered in soul triggers.
Dude, that one is great. It's so old. I feel like a lot of people haven't seen that one. I feel like if that one like got the algorithm again, like people would see it again. You're
gonna have to just like throw it on screen right now.
That was also like a really good video. I'm like, because I talk a lot about compression in that video in a way that I feel like nobody else has explained compression up to this point, and I feel like, I feel like I would reference that video a lot more, but it doesn't have that many views.
Holy moly, that was your like 9th video.
Yeah,
it's like
it's
ancient.
It's ancient stuff, yeah. But
Yeah.
What I was going to talk about is the video I made for Pad, for Nay, where
I see it right now.
Yeah, where I did the Puzzles and Dragons screen, except instead of like the orbs, it was like soul triggers.
It's all soul triggers.
I posted that on Twitter. That went huge in JP Weiss. Like everybody in Japan was just like, "Whoa, this guy is like cooking!" Like I got so many Japanese like follows and likes from that one post. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm so proud of this one." But I think for me that is like what brings me a lot of joy and passion, and like I create to like have those moments, and I feel like Shoyu is like probably similar vibe in that he wants to see these like creative and like different things. Like that's just what it seems like to me, right? But what do you guys think? Do you guys feel like creativity is something that you guys value in seeing, and or value in doing, and if not, then like what's your take basically?
I feel like seeing is personally, like I think seeing is a lot better for me because like I'm really introverted, so like I feel like doing something myself is like not really something I'm comfortable in doing, but like seeing like creativity is like I think it's pretty peak. Like every time I look at your thumbnail, I think it's like the best thing in the world. Like I really like the Pachin one, the pineapple thing. I think that was really good. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like for me personally, I love watching creative content. So that's why like I said earlier, I like go out of my way to go look for creative content whenever I can, right? If I don't want to make something, I want to see it, just go look for it. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like me and that guy kind of it's also the same way, right? Like where he just like wants other people to do something, but like I feel like maybe he's too shy to do it. So
But
like,
I mean, he has his own like Weiss blog though.
Yeah, he's trying.
Yeah,
like
I feel like
he's a little better than you.
vlogging-
He's actually trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, but it's like a vlog is like so much more less personal than like having a video, right? But like, I don't know. I just feel like if you're too shy to do something, then just go look for it. But if he himself really wants to like have more creativity, he should start making videos on what he wants to see. I'll for sure watch it because I love watching content. So I'll give you a support if you do it, dude. You know.
Nice. Yeah, sounds good. So I mean, I think
about you, Randall?
I think it's pretty clear. Well, no, so like show you as like a consumer, he wants creativity, and then Panda I think is agreeing with them, like from the consumer audience side that they do value creativity. So I guess from the creator side, Randall, how do you feel about creativity, or as a consumer if you want to talk
I
about
feel
that?
like I mean it's like I guess it's kind of both. So like I mean I feel like we're kind of getting to me I see three perspectives here. So like Panda is like the consumer side, Sumu is like creativity, like just from like a general sense.
Mhm.
But like for me, I was kind of thinking about like what I get out of the word creativity, and for me, I came to the conclusion that I'm just more of a game theorist. And so for me, creativity doesn't have nearly as much to do with like the content and the stylistics and like the thumbnails and the aesthetics and the lore and things like that. Like to me, creativity, especially because we're in like a card game context, right? So to me, creativity means like creativity in like a deck build or like trying something that's a little out there, not necessarily anything that has to do with like lore or character interactions or things like that. So like the first thing that came to mind for me was like my Pro Sekka 8 pants build from set 1. So this is the one that has like the Ichika level 1 combo that no one runs with like the Kohane with the on bond package that no one runs.
We featured that on a gameplay video, right? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
we did.
Yeah, okay.
And so like to me, like that is the sort of thing that appeals to me when I think of the word creativity, is coming up with something from like a game theory, game piece perspective that is original, that can work, or like trying to take things that people would ordinarily not think works and try to like make it work. Like that's the sort of thing that comes to mind for me when it comes to creativity. And so it's just kind of like I'm not really looking for the same things that I think like either of you two or Shoyu is looking for. Obviously, when there is a time for that, so like the Guilty Gear video, I think was like probably like the perfect example of like a time to like really let the creative juices flow. Because in the Guilty Gear video, we basically have no creativity, right? Like we're given the cards to talk about by Bushiroad. We can only talk about them so much, and so the only thing that we can really do outside of that is be creative in terms of like the lore and flavor and things like that. But when it comes to actual like Weiss Schwarz focus content, where we have the ability to experiment and change things and like fine-tune knobs. Like I would rather just fine-tune knobs, basically.
Right. That makes sense. But okay, honestly, part of me is extremely shocked hearing that because like you made that April Fool's video. That is like one of the most creative videos I've seen for Weiss. Like, how can you be like,
okay,
I'm not creative about person, and then make that? That was so crazy.
Okay, but like I said, like there's no like we're not talking about cards in that, right?
Okay.
So like if it's from like a game perspective, I really want to hone in on the game aspect.
Okay.
I want to hone in on like optimizations and things like that. And then like when it comes to like the April Fool's video, like that's something completely different. It has nothing to do with games.
I see,
right?
I see. So I guess that makes sense because like in your mind, a deck profile is just entirely game specific and like should just be kept that way, and like any way of like evolving that would just be entirely within the game. And then you basically have it very compartmentalized. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, and like
I see.
Like it's definitely the main focus of like what I try to do in the content. And then like if there's like a little joke that you can throw in there, like just like a very short like offhand joke that can appeal to like the people that know the series, then like you throw in a joke here and there, right? But ultimately to me, the main focus is on the card game. Like,
I see.
When I did like my review constructive criticism post paragraph thing to show you, like literally the last sentence was, we're here to teach people to play a card game.
Right.
And
yeah.
I feel like that is just like the main thing that I'm trying to focus on when I do that.
Right.
Also, with regards to the April Fool's video, I don't know if I told you, I had that literally like on the back burner for years. Literally years.
Years? What do you mean
Like-
years?
Like no, like literally like
Oh,
like
boy.
like I came up with like the first line, like this is my compression, right? Like literally that first line, I probably came up with that like 4 or 5 years before the video.
What?
Just like as an offhand like joke, because like I knew the song and it fit, right?
That's
Like, the line
crazy.
just
You never
fits.
told me that. It's 4 years in the making. You're 4 times worse than Michael Reeves. Wow.
Thing.
What, Panda?
I thought you told me it was a you song like
No. Okay, so Okay, so the actual like line, like this is my compression off of like this is my confession from like from the original song. Like I had thought up that like 4 or 5 years ago, and then you song was like the big inspiration for me to actually like go through with it, because I really loved the Call Richie with you. Like Call Richie with you is like, it's so good, dude. Like
Okay,
literally,
yeah, that's a good
like,
song.
I literally like made that April Fool's video with the aspiration that I could make a parody song that was as good as Call Richie with you, because Call Richie with you is so good.
Just for the audience who don't understand what we're talking about, this is a mahjong content creator. He's very good. You should go check him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, 4 years, dude. Okay. Well, I'm honestly impressed that you got it out. That's really cool. But damn, does that mean we have to wait 4 years for the next one? Oh my goodness.
Well, I mean, like I said, like it was just like that first line that was like just like sitting on the back burner for like 4 years, and I never really thought about like making it like a full blown song parody. And then like the actual like making of the April Fool's video, that kind of just happened in like a very short span of time relative to like the 4 years that I had.
I
like,
see. Yeah, I mean that's usually how creation works, right? You get inspired, and then stuff like
and you just
doesn't
go.
move, and then you just go. Yeah, you just go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I feel like that video though, it brings to like, and the fact that you're compartmentalizing these two things separately, and like your last line in that post where you said like, we're here to play a card game and teach others to play card games. I was thinking about this yesterday night, like in preparation for this podcast discussion, and I realized that like, as a card game player for like other card games, because I watch like a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic, like the stuff that I really like and the stuff that like is memorable to me are the videos that are like high effort, like those like really well made like documentary style videos, or like
video essays.
Yeah, like video essays, or like very high effort like comedy videos, or like those fun moments. The one that I was thinking about recently was like for Yu-Gi-Oh, there's that one guy who made like the like a more modern Yu-Gi-Oh bridge series with like Weevil and playing like trap tricks. I don't know if you guys have seen that video.
Weevil versus Joey.
Yeah, Weaver versus Joey. Yeah, like the script of that video is so good. It's like on a creative level that like I personally could just never have come up with something like that. And to me, as like a creative person, like it really like resonates. But what I realized is that like I might think that that's the best video like in the Yu-Gi-Oh content sphere, and maybe other content creators would agree with that. But I highly doubt that that video is actually converting any new players into the game, or even like getting old players to want to keep playing Yu-Gi-Oh. It's really just.
I feel like it might even do the opposite.
Right.
Because they'll see what Weevil's doing. They'll be like, why would I want to play this?
Yeah, or it's like at most it is just like making people feel good about Yu-Gi-Oh, but not necessarily actually converting it into like the actual game, right? And at the end of the day, I feel like as content creators, our goal is to get people into the game and playing and having fun playing the game. And what Shoyu is asking for is actually like a bunch of like artistic creative content that doesn't necessarily fulfill that purpose. It might stand alone as like great videos or like great, you know, content. We might say like, wow, that was like the best, most creative content. But if it doesn't actually get people invested into the game and like excited about the game itself, I feel like it actually just doesn't really do much, except it's just like stroking your own creative ego, right? And so like I feel like what actually keeps people in like playing games and stuff like that is just like consistent, like almost boring, but like consistent videos about things that are relevant, like, you know, like new sets, new decks, anything that's like on a schedule. Even though if it's boring, it's like at least keeping you in the loop. Like people who want to invest in the game have a source of content, like a source of just like source of like information to like constantly consume and like stay in the loop. Like right now, for another game I'm playing, which is Stella Sora, the gacha game, there's a guide maker who makes guides for characters, but because they research and do a lot of work, the guides come out like a week after the character comes out. And literally for this past week, every single day, I've just like, first thing in the morning, I go on Reddit, I'm like, is the guide out yet? I need to read this guide. Is the guide out yet? Where's the guide? And the guide came out yesterday, and I just like spent like an hour just reading the guide, checking the information of each guide, like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, that checks out. Like that's the kind of content that I would want to see as a player or somebody who's like invested in something. It's just like I want that kind of content earlier and more often, and like that's like the content that keeps like the game alive, right? I feel like if this guide maker goes away, I feel like the game kind of just almost dies. Like a part of the game just like doesn't have access to that content information, that resource, and like that's it. But like from a creative standpoint, this guide maker is not doing anything like super creative. Like their graphics are really nice, their infographics, but like it is just very like it's like honest hard work. But ultimately, I do think that that's what it takes to like keep a community like going and keep people like interested and like active. And yeah, I mean that's the hard work. You got to put in the hard work. You can't just like talk about like your nice little fantasies and dreams. You just gotta do it.
I think the difference though between that and the Weiss community is I think kind of addressed in one of Shoyu's points, whereas like if you look at actual like Weiss Schwarz content on YouTube, the stuff that's not like, you know, investment stuff and things like that, right?
Yeah.
What Shoyu is basically saying is that like you type in like I want to know about this set and it's just like all deck profiles. It kind of contrasts to like the Stella Sora example, whereas like Maggie's like basically the only person that's like making these sort of guides, right? But in Weiss Schwarz, you could type in like a set deck profile and probably come up with like 5 or 6 different channels, which are all more or less conveying pretty similar information, just at like different levels of complexity, right? Which obviously, if you are a consumer, that might get a little bit boring, repetitive.
Okay, yeah,
so
that's
true. I can see that point.
Yeah.
It definitely changes the game completely when there is one YouTuber making this kind of content for your game.
Yeah, actually, like everything on that back is like live or die by you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Maggie literally being the savior of Stella Sora.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's also a good point. Like, you gotta find your niche. You can't just like, if you're making content, you can't just like start copying people and just doing what they do, because like it's already been done, right? You gotta find your own niche. Gotta find. It's like what you said. If you want to see something get done, you just do it. Keep doing it. Be consistent about it, and then like that content now exists in the world for people to enjoy. So.
Yeah, I feel like I think like the biggest takeaways from this entire discussion is like when you make content, you need to think about two things. You need to think about who it's for and what you're trying to do with it, right? I feel like those two things really need to be identified for like any piece of content, like in or out of Weiss Schwarz.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for me, who's the content for? For people trying to get into Weiss Schwarz, and it's for what is it trying to do? It's trying to convey the information that people trying to get into Weiss Schwarz or try to get into like a new deck, I guess, need to succeed. And apart from that, kind of like you said, like kind of compartmentalizing the process is that like I'm not trying to dilute my video with stuff that I don't think needs to be there to achieve what I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think for Trust Us, we kind of stick to that as like our goals, and here and there we kind of put something fun for us. Like all of these like fun videos, they're really mostly for us and like us trying stuff, us doing stuff that like brings us joy and we're excited about. And if they work or don't work, it almost doesn't like matter because like we're really just doing it, for our enjoyment and hoping that enjoyment can be shared, right?
Whenever I come up with these like sort of like game show or like variety ideas, like it's pretty much just because like I think it would be fun for us to do, and then we have fun while doing it. And I'm gonna be so real, they're some of our worst performing.
Oh yeah, by far, not even close.
But did we have fun? Yeah. So I mean, like, if that's what happens, that's what happens. But ultimately, we would just go back to like the main thing that we're doing and the main thing that people know us for, and then we get on our way, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of like content creators for Weiss that does like cool things. Like I think the Clock Tower does like Jeopardy every now and then, right? And then what is it? Strictly Broken. They also do like Jeopardy, or like
they definitely do some. They definitely do some Jeopardy. They definitely do some go fishing in the negative numbers. Like that definitely happens. So.
Yeah, bro.
This is like loosely related, but like, dude, whenever I see like content creator Jeopardy in any space, like whether it's like card game, like Weiss Schwarz, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, whatever, dude, like I can't stand it when people are just like, oh, I'm in the negatives, I'm just gonna keep throwing out answers and like surely I'll get one right eventually, and they're like negative 5,000 points, and I'm just like, dude, like like I can watch you be a clown in any one of your other videos and you chose this one. It's not that I can't stand it. It's just that like, it's like I can only watch it so many times.
Yeah. But yeah, for sure. Like I do think there are a lot of content creators out there, and like I really like what Panda you said about like if you want to see it, you can like gotta look for it, and like you gotta like do your like due diligence and like Google, because there are even more content creators than ever before actually. Because like when I was doing research for this this discussion, I found a few channels that are just like, oh yeah, these content creators are like definitely dead, they haven't like made anything in like a year or more. But then I found like a ton more of just like these like 50, 100 sub content creators. I was just like, where did these come from? I don't remember this. And all of them are making content like within the past year. So it's cool. Yeah, I do think like gotta look for it. And then if you can't find it, obviously, maybe it's calling your name. It's your turn to step up to the plate. All right. Yeah, I guess. So to be completely honest, like we're already at an hour, and I feel like this has been good. So like the rest of the stuff we don't really need to talk about. I was gonna originally go through like every category and just like talk about like our experiences with those categories, but we've also kind of just like incorporated it into the overall discussion. So I think we can just close it off. This has been pretty nice. Unless you guys have anything last things you guys want to bring up or talk about.
No, honestly, actually, I
Shout
feel
out the homies. Shout out some homies.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, we will, but
Refresh
like,
Point, Clock
okay.
Tower, great
Wait.
podcasts. I
Wait.
wish we have more podcasts like those, you know?
Wait, what were you gonna say, Panda?
Dude, I feel like I want more podcasts for Wise. Like, I think like I keep on telling people this in our circle in specifically because we have like a lot of like high quality players who have like a lot of strong opinions, right? And we're like, dude, I would love to see like a podcast where we just talk about nothing but games. Like, I love I love it when people talk about like game mechanics, like cool stuff they want to do with their deck. Like John Jacob, for example, like every day he DMs me something crazy and cool for like the new set he's like playing, and I was like, damn, if only you have like a podcast or like or anywhere to like vent all of this stuff, it'll be like such great knowledge to the player base. But yeah, it's like I feel like a lot of like Weiss podcasts too. They do the same thing where, like I said earlier, where they just do like news and like tournament result stuff, and then they sometimes talk about like I know like Refresh Point talks a lot about alt format sometimes and like cool Jink stuff, and I think that's all cool and all. But like a podcast, like Mind the Game, if any basketball plans out there, like dude, that podcast, nothing but game. I would love to watch that. But like it takes like I said, earlier. It takes a lot of people who are like who have a lot of courage to like actually are willing to do it. But if there's someone out there who's like willing to do a podcast where they talk about nothing but game, like I'm super down to watch. I'll even support by paying a Patreon, even though I'm Omega poor.
Someone out there, Panda, where are you right now?
What's up?
You're on a podcast. Like you can just do like if you want to talk about it, just come up with a thing and we can talk about it. Like you
Fair.
out there, where are you looking, bro? I'm recording you right now. But yeah,
That's true. That's
for
true.
sure.
Maybe.
Yeah. Do you know if the other podcasts for Weiss, do you know if they publish on Spotify by any chance?
Yeah. Refresh Point for
Refresh
sure
Point.
does.
Oh, Refresh Point does?
For
Okay,
sure.
yeah. Because I was Googling how to get that set up. I think I can do it. So this will go on Spotify. So my plan is to have this on Spotify as like an audio version and then have the the video for the YouTube video. So there's actually like cool stuff to see on screen as well. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, there's nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
I guess for the outro, I guess like what is something that you're looking forward to in terms of like Weiss content, whether it's like content that you want to see that you like feel like will like is like very likely to be seen, or it's like content that you feel like you could make. And like so I'll start. The reason why I want to talk about this is because Weiss Online got announced for this year, which is like the biggest news, by the way, like in Weiss history probably. This is like the biggest like landmark event. Like I think it's such a paradigm shift. Like I feel like Weiss before online and after online are going to be completely different. Is like there's like the number of players are going to be completely different. Like the vibe is going to be completely different. Like look at Yu-Gi-Oh! Like pre and post Master Duel. It's just like a complete like 180 in terms of like everything, right? So I'm really excited to see how that is going to change Weiss. And I feel like after Weiss Online, we're going to get a lot more content creators who are like Weiss Online only, and then maybe like some content creators who are doing like physical card games can like migrate some of their stuff to online. But yeah, I'm really excited about Weiss Online. Oh my goodness, it's gonna change everything. Holy yeah. What about you guys though?
What was the question again?
No, like what are you looking forward to for Weiss content? I guess even like you could say like this year, or next year, like anything that you're in the works that you're making, or like what are you looking forward to like seeing other people make and stuff like that.
I love like gameplay videos. So like with Weiss Online, I expect to see a lot more people do like their gameplay videos, stuff like that, on the client itself. Like I would love to see. Even though like I feel like Weiss Online only have like a couple set, right? They don't have like everything Weiss related.
We
It's just
don't
like-
have confirmation on that yet. All we know so far is that there is a Weiss edition and a Schwarz edition, and we don't know if that means there's going to be like Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, you got to buy them separately, or if it's going to be like you pick one when you first boot up the game or something like that. Like we all we know is that those 7 sets that they mentioned are going to be in Weiss Schwarz Online in some capacity. That's the only thing that we know so far.
Yeah, I just want to see more cool like gameplays. I hopefully that client can do standard gameplay, because I would also love to see standard gameplay. That would be really funny.
Oh god.
Oh wait, it is actually coming out this
like,
year. Oh my goodness, yeah, fall this year. Holy, that's crazy.
I don't know if I want to see standard gameplay. I can only watch people getting held hostage for 20-minute turns for so long.
Dude, but we have so much fun watching that one JP channel do standard gameplay. Actually, I would love to see an EM player do standard gameplay, because I think Refresh Point talks about it every now and then in their podcast, but I don't think I've ever seen any gameplay from standard from them specifically. So, if we have like a standard content creator, that would be cool. I'm too small brain to do that kind of content. So.
I like the problem with standard. You gotta hunt the cards down, man.
I just proxy, honestly. It'll be like Legacy and Magic, where like you just proxy. Nobody's buying a Black Lotus to play Legacy, or not Legacy, Vintage. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Any closing thoughts, Randall? Oh, sorry. Well, Panda, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
No. I just feel like I just said like. A thought that slipped in my mind is like maybe more singleton, alt format stuff. Like I feel like I watch a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh stuff too, and they have like this like internal struggle with like alt format. I feel like if Bushield honestly have like a standard thing on the side for side event or singleton, I feel like I'll also be down. It'll encourage people to like make content like that, and I'll personally be down to play and watch those kind of content. So, I don't know. Oh, I love watching content, man. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, you are definitely always talking about content when we're chatting.
Yeah,
so.
bro.
Yeah. Yeah, but Randall, any closing thoughts?
As far as like what I am excited to see if people can make is are like something that like I would be excited to see other people make, but I would also potentially be interested in making, would probably be like kind of like video essay style content of like what Mike did with like the Vanillas history.
Oh yeah, that was a really good video. Yeah.
Like I feel because like my knowledge only goes back so far in Weiss Schwarz, and so like and as far as back as I can go, like I only really remember like my own experiences, right? So if I was just like at a locals playing against people that just had like pretty whatever decks, then like it's not really good representation of like what was really good like way back in the day. So I would love to see if I don't know if Alfred wants to step back up to the plate and make more video content, but
well, for most of those video essays, actually, like out in the wild, you have to do a lot of research. So even like a lot of those video essays are actually made by people who weren't partaking at the time, but they like interview people who are partaking, and they're making it about something that they never experienced. So like you could just make it where like you interview Alfred like, and other people at that time, and you like collate their information, and like it honestly, that kind of video, it's so much effort because it is just a ton of research, and like I personally like find that very difficult. Yeah.
It's the kind of video where like I feel like if I was going to I don't think I would be willing to like put that much effort to make like the like interview all the people, like hunt down the people that were playing back then. But like I would probably want to do something that would be like within the scope of the time that I've been playing, and that I have like a scope of the entire thing.
Right.
I think that was probably be the kind of video that for me, as someone who's already like established in Weiss Schwarz, like I feel like you don't even have to be that established into Weiss Schwarz to appreciate those kinds of videos, because like as a newer player, you can just go into the video and just be like, oh, so that's like how it was back then. It's like now can compare to how it is right now. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean those video essays, they get so much views. Like if you've watched like Summoning Salt's like speedrun history documentaries, like so many people watch it and they like have no interest in the game whatsoever. They're just there for the story, right? Because the story is just like that's exciting. So yeah, I mean, if you ever get around to doing that, that would be a really cool video. We definitely need more video essay style stuff, because that has a lot of like universal appeal, and I think it'd be really good.
And then the other thing I'm definitely interested in seeing is so Simu, when are you and Mike making that April Fool's video this year? Huh?
Oh, okay, all right. Well, thank you so much for coming to this first episode of this pod. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. You set the bar too high, man. Like, we can't.
I remember Simu like made a tweet. He was like, I really hate when companies do like these really high effort one-offs for April Fools, and then they just like throw it all away after April Fools is over or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And now my teammate is doing it to me.
Yeah.
I feel like the video you guys made like on the Makine block, that would have been a great April Fool video.
It came out too early. Whatever. It's unfortunate. All right. Well, yeah. I don't want to go too much over time, but yeah. So that's it for this episode of Weiss Schwarz content. So the answer is there a content drought? I don't think so. I feel like Weiss content has been doing. It's like probably better than ever. If anything, we're leaving a content drought.
I think drought maybe isn't the right word. I think maybe it's a little too homogenous, but with good reason.
It's like a flood of the same things. It's like the opposite of a drought. But yeah, so I feel like it would be nice to see more diversity, but in terms of content, like more is better than none. Because when you don't have any content, then you don't have anything.
Actual drought.
Yeah, that's a real drought. But yeah, well, thank you so much for you guys joining me today, and we'll see if we find another topic to put on the table and discuss next time. But until then, this has been Simu, also known as Chairman, on my own channel, along with Panda and Randall. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Laters.
Bye.